My name is Natalie Fani-González. I'm the council member for District 6. I'm the chair of the Economic Development Committee, and I'm a member of the Parks, Housing, and Planning Committee. I am here on a very special occasion. Where's Mike? Oh, what are you doing all the way there? Come over here. He ran away already. We're here to give a special recognition to Parks Director Mike Raleigh and the team of Montgomery Parks. Ta-da! For the tremendous progress on transitioning to natural grass athletic fields, not only on parkland, but also in many MCPS locations, primarily elementary and middle schools. It is a model program that is providing opportunities for workforce development in addition to safer and healthier play areas, for which the leadership of Montgomery Parks has received national recognition. Previously, as a member of the planning board, where I worked with Mike to move parks in that direction. Last fall, I attended the most recent athletic field showcase at Wheaton Regional Park, and I was very, very impressed, which demonstrated uses of the latest technologies to maintain the safety and playability of athletic fields. On a personal note, I have always been against tire waste in playgrounds and synthetic fields, and Mike knows that very well. With my youngest, Luca was just a baby. He was 1, he was in one of our playgrounds, and he touched the rubber surface and he burned himself. That's how hot it was, and that is not okay. So I've been very passionate about it since I was on the planning board, and I continue to do so here on the county council. So grass fields reduce the risk of heat, stress, and injuries. Synthetic turf fields place athletes at risk of heat stress and injuries, and that's why we shouldn't have them. So I'm very honored to have a series of folks here, including Delegate Jared Salomon, who's going to provide a couple of words. Where is Jared? Oh, there you are. And alongside with County Executive Mark Elrich. I'm going to start with the County Executive first before we move on. Okay.
Hey, thank you so much. This is really great. I mean, I remember, Mike, back in the early days of this discussion, where the big victory was we were going to build 2 fields side by side, one with and one without, to see how they performed. And we've come a long way from that discussion. We went from let's see how it performs to realizing we can actually do this. And you know, the arguments that we made 10 years ago, and I see a lot of my friends from those battles 10 years ago up here, are the same today. The plastic is dangerous. It breaks into microplastics. It's got PFAS involved in it. Tire rubber was always dangerous. Zeolite isn't any better. It leads to respiratory issues. There is no safe way really to do artificial, and there's no environmentally sound way. Whether or not there's an immediate effect on people, there's certainly an effect on the environment. So I am really happy to see this progress. Someday, all fields in this county will be natural, and that will be a great victory. But I think that this will help show the way that we can actually get extended playability. And the other important thing, you know, a lot of the pressure on artificial turf was created by the lack of fields. The lack of fields wasn't because Montgomery County didn't have fields. It's because so many of our fields were so bad they weren't really playable for the community. Bringing back the elementary school fields and the middle school fields to the point they're playable extends the number of fields, which takes pressure off the artificial turf fields in the long run, and may open the door to moving us back to a more sensible policy on the artificial turf fields that remain. But Mike, I want to thank you. I'm really glad that everybody learned out of this experience, and you were willing to rethink where that department was going. And not everybody rethinks things, and it was really helpful that you did that, and you've led us to a much better place than we were. So thank you very much for what you did. I would be remiss not to mention Debbie Spielberg, who has been in my office and probably been the most dogged activist at this level in terms of moving the county toward away from artificial turf and toward natural grass. So I just want to acknowledge the work you've done over more than a decade on this issue. So thank you. And thank you.
Delegate Jared Salomon.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jared Solomon. I'm a delegate in District 18, and it's a real pleasure to be here, represent the communities of Kensington, Chevy Chase, Wheaton, Silver Spring. we've really tried to partner at the state level. Actually, one of the best things we get to do every year is bring home significant chunk of money for our parks. I think it's really, I always knew how important and special they were to the county, but as a relatively new dad, we have a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old. We spent a lot of time at our parks, and especially during COVID, I don't know what we would have done. And as we come out of the pandemic, I think it's only heightened the importance of publicly accessible outdoor spaces for everybody, and that's making sure that they are as healthy and safe as possible. There's a bill actually that our congressional delegation just introduced to honor the life of Jordan McNair, who was a football player at the University of Maryland who died after suffering heat stroke on a field that was 40 or 50 degrees over what really should have been a synthetic field that was over the safe temperature. And so we've done a lot of work at the state level, partnering with our county folks. And I have to give recognition again to Senator Madaleno, who was a champion of this when he was in the state Senate. Our Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller, when she was a member of the House of Delegates, was also a champion on this. And it's really incredible to once again see Montgomery County leading. And it's not an easy task, but it's incredibly important. And I also, on a personal note, have to thank Mike, who I think you've held literally every job, I was told, in the Parks Department. Mike is going to retire shortly. And there's the rumor. I can't thank you enough for the work that you've done. And Mike is also a neighbor in Kensington, so you can come knock on my door and complain to me about things that we're not doing well. But just thank you to you and your whole team for the work that you have done in making this county just an incredibly wonderful place to live.
We all love Mike, and we have done a lot of processing in the Parks Department. There's no way you're leaving anytime soon. I'm just gonna put that. Before we read the proclamation, I would like to say thank you to the new Planning Board Chair, Artie Harris is here. Thank you for coming, sir. Thank you. Alongside the new Planning Board member, Mitra, who's, she comes from the Parks Department, so she's part of the family. And I also would like to recognize many of our friends in Ambler, Kathy Michaels, Amanda Farber, Wendy Howard, Laura Stewart, Denise Guitarra, Sheldon Fishman. Where's Sheldon? I love Sheldon. There you are. Bruce Adams, and so many other people who came together to celebrate Mike Riley and the amazing work the Parks Department has done. With that, I'm going to start reading the proclamation alongside our County Executive, Mark Elrich. It's very long, and I don't have my glasses. So I'm just going to read half, and then you read the other half. Because this one-on-one thing that usually happens on the County Council, I don't like it. One paragraph, and then the other person has to switch. So, Montgomery County Council the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland proclamation. Whereas the Parks Department maintains natural turn grass space for a diverse array of athletic opportunities, including but not limited to cricket, soccer, baseball, and softball, kickball, field hockey, football, lacrosse, rugby, and ultimately frisbee. And whereas the Parks Department serves diverse groups of recreational and competitive athletes in Montgomery County by providing equitable access to high-quality athletic fields for exercise and community building opportunities. And whereas the Parks Department, with resources supplied by the county and the state, has embarked on an aggressive program to increase the quantity and quality of athletic fields on parkland and at public schools. And whereas in the last year, the Parks Department has supported over 66,000 permits for athletic field use, accounting for nearly 220,000 hours of play, equivalent to 25 years. And whereas the Parks Department continues to improve and upgrade park fields with sustainability and climate action in mind, installing highly efficient soil moisture and irrigation systems, as well as selecting high-efficiency lighting options that are designed to provide safe, well-lit spaces that reduce energy consumption and align with the Dark Sky Initiative to reduce light pollution and impact to migratory birds. And whereas the Parks Department has made safety and playability improvements to over 40% of our 285 athletic fields in the past 10 years. And good luck.
Yep.
Here, right here.
I will point out this is a form over function. If we're going to have these many talking points, a scroll might actually, then we could have bigger print. Whereas in 2022, the softball field in Wheaton Regional Park won Mid-Atlantic Sports Field Managers Association Sport Turf Field of the Year. And whereas the Parks Department conducts periodic athletic field showcases on its evolving technology and equipment dedicated to improving fields, and has transitioned specific high-use fields to Bermuda grass, including at Latonia Recreation, Martin Luther King Recreation, South Germantown Recreation, Ridge Road Recreation, and Wheaton Regional Parks, which on high-traffic fields provides better wear and drought resistance. And whereas the Parks Department renovated 28 MCPS locations over a 7-year period with an emphasis on underserved communities, and now maintains 200 athletic fields in 105 MCPS elementary, middle, and high school locations countywide. And whereas, see the scroll use? Whereas the Parks Department renovated 28 MCPS, I did that one. Okay, whereas the Parks Department worked with MCPS to complete stage 1 of the County Council funded Montgomery Blair High School project, which included renovating the track field with an amended soil profile, state-of-the-art irrigation, Bermuda grass, and lighting, which will be available for community use after Phase 2 practice field is completed. And whereas the Parks Department celebrated with the Recreation Department to provide high-quality grass athletic field at White Oak Recreation Center, which serves as a highly populated, diverse community. And whereas the Parks Department strives to be an exemplary national leader in innovation, construction, and maintenance of premier publicly available natural grass athletic fields, now therefore be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland, and County Executive Mark Elrich recognize the extraordinary works of the Parks Department and Mike Riley, Director of Montgomery Parks, for creating a nationally renowned award-winning program for installing, economically maintaining state-of-the-art grass fields, presented this 27th day of June, 2023.
Wow, thank you. That was really wonderful and appreciated. I heard my name said a lot, but if you look at my fingernails, you'll see I haven't been digging in the dirt much at all lately. I've been sitting at a desk. But I brought 5 members of my athletic field team with me. Please raise your hand. Josh, Alicia, Marty, Galen, Sam. These are the experts. These are the scientists who do the actual work. They're artists. I was just out watching them do their work at our latest Bermuda grass field at Hillendale Local Park on New Hampshire Ave, north of the Beltway. If you want to see a beautiful sea of green, drive up New Hampshire Ave in the near future. But they are experts, and the only way this program has been successful is that over the years, the County Council has supported it with resources, with staffing. You can have natural grass fields that can handle a heck of a lot of use, but you have to have experts that build them right, and then you have to have experts that maintain them, and that doesn't come inexpensively, but we've proved it can be done, and I'm very excited about that. I just want to thank, again, the County Council for making the resources available. I could get so geeky and talk forever about the strains and cultivars of Bermuda grass. There's latitude, there's iron cutter. I could talk about soil moisture sensors that make sure you don't use a drop extra or a drop too little of water to irrigate. But there really is a science that it's evolving, the type of equipment we use to aerate, the type of, we have vertidrains, we have slit seeders, we have all kinds of fun equipment we show off at our equipment showcases. So next time we have one, come out, learn about what it takes to grow grass. At the end of the day, when our kids and our aspiring athletes come out to our school and park fields, we want grass where there's supposed to be grass. We want smooth infields without rocks, and we don't want rainouts. If any of you have played or have children who play, you get all ready on that evening or a Saturday, and then you get to the field and it's full of puddles. We do not want that to happen. So again, thank you for supporting us, Council. Thank you, Council Member Fani-González, who supported me both on this initiative, both as a planning board. The former Fed Committee was a big champion of this. The current Planning and Housing and Parks Committee continues to support this. So thank you, thank you, thank you.